Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our NFL Week 11 preview between the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals. Now here are some keys to victory for both teams, starting with the Browns.
Jason Campbell has done a solid job at quarterback, playing like the seasoned vet that he is. And the most important stat is that he hasn't thrown an interception. And this week versus Cincinnati, I believe there are some opportunities in a short to intermediate passing area that they can exploit. But in my opinion, what's key is that they have to find some type of a running game versus the Cincinnati Bengals. The running game doesn't have to be game-breaking to be effective. Even 3.5 yards a carry would be just enough to calm down the pressure of the Bengals pass rush. Defensively, I'm a big fan of free safety Tashawn Gibson and how well he has done so far this season. Defensive coordinator Ray Horton moves him around a lot on defense, and this week versus Cincy, at times you're probably going to see him matched up in coverage versus a tight end, in which he'll have to win that individual battle. And I'm also interested to see how and where they utilize rookie outside linebacker Barkevious Mingo. I believe his ability to get off the football quickly could play a huge role in getting the Bengals off the field on third down. Now let's move over to the Bengals in this ball game, and Andy Dalton's inconsistency, even within a game, is maddening. However, the one thing I liked about last week's performance that could be a huge factor versus the Browns would be his mobility. I believe Dalton is an excellent athlete. I think him gaining yards with his legs could put the Bengals in manageable third down situations, or even picking up a first down. I would also like to see the offensive line perform a lot better versus the blitz. There were a lot of miscommunications up front last week versus the Ravens, and that has to improve this week versus the Browns. Defensively, linebacker Vincent Ray had an outstanding game on both ends of defense, and quietly, I was actually impressed with how the defense played despite the offense consistently putting them in bad spots with those turnovers. Now, this week versus the Browns, the pass defense at the second and third level will be put to the test. The Browns love to attack teams in the passing game with alignment, motions, and formations. So the Bengals will not only have to throw off the timing of the receivers, but also have to understand that their responsibilities may change on the fly. So once again, pattern reading and winning the individual battles are key.
This week versus the Cincinnati Bengals, the Cleveland Browns will have to get the running game going. And one way they can run the football is by influencing an over-aggressive defensive line up the field. So I think if they run 24 ISO G, I think they can have a chance to make some plays running the ball. And I'm going to show you what 24 ISO G means. The G tag in this play right here that I'm going to draw up is just telling the play side guard it's his job to trap the defensive end. So I'm going to show you what we're talking about here. Broken eye set. So what we're going to do weak side, we're going to have tackle, block the end. We're going to have the weak side guard and center combo with the center working up to block the weak side backer. Play side guard is trapping the defensive end. So what we're going to do, we're going to have the play side tackle block down on this defensive tackle. We're going to have the tight end work up to the middle backer, and we're trapping the defensive end with the guard. Fullback is leading up in the hole. Belly play right here. 24 ISO. Quarterback works his way, opens out, hands the ball off. Should be able to make the strong safety miss, and that's the key. So if the Browns are able to get the ground game going, it makes life easier for the quarterback with play action pass, all that stuff like that. But in this play here, it's about influencing the defensive line to get up the field. And if the Browns can do that, they can have a lot of success running the football this week versus the Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals are going to have to force some turnovers versus the Cleveland Browns. And one way they can do so is by utilizing the zone blitz. That is a weak sky variation of a cover 3. So we're going to send the free safety down the flat. We're going to play deep third with the strong safety, and we're going to send a delayed twist up front. A lot of verbiage, but I'm going to show you how we're going to get it done. You see what we have right here? We're going to send the weak side backer on the outside. He's coming off the blitz. Now it looks like cover 2. It looks like we're sitting in the house with 2 backers on the line of scrimmage. So that's the pre-snap look that Jason Campbell will get. But really, we're sending this outside backer and we're twisting up here. We're going to have this defensive tackle play through his man, try to get that good push, that good penetration. And what we're going to have the defensive end do, he's going to push, hold as this guy is crossing face in this gap here. We're going to bring the defensive end right here, trying to push that inside shoulder of the guard. So we're running delayed twist up front. We're going to drop the outside backer, the strong backer, in the curl out responsibility. We're dropping the cornerback in his deep third. We're dropping the strong safety back in the middle of the deep third. Free safety is running down to cover the curl out responsibility, and we're dropping the corner down in the deep third as well. What we're going to have this backer do, he's going to drop into the hook the curl zone. So you have hook the curl out with the free safety. That's the sky look. He's playing the flat. That's where you get the sky from. Deep third, I'm sorry. deep third on the corner, curl out, and you're protected up front. So that's the way they can get pressure. Hopefully trying to get Campbell to throw it here where the free safety will walk into the end zone if he picks it off. So that's what you're trying to do. That's the illusion. I'm sorry, and we forgot the zone blitz. We have the end dropping right here in the hook to curl zone as well. So the end is getting pushed, holding this tackle, freeing up the weak side backer to get on the outside and get pressure on Campbell, forcing a quick throw, hopefully going weak side into an interception either by the free safety or a batted pass by the defensive end that's dropping into hook to curl zone. So that's how you can effectively get pressure on Campbell by forcing him to go weak side where you have three defenders. You have your deep third with the corner, you have the curl out with the free safety, and you have the hook to curl with the defensive end. That's the zone blitz. He's blitzing, he's dropping, and I think that's how they can get pressure on Campbell this week and force the Browns into some bad decisions.
The X factor for the Browns will be their red zone excellence. They're going to have to excel in the red zone, come away with touchdowns versus this Bengals defense, because points will be a premium in this ballgame as both teams have outstanding defenses. So they have to make sure they come away with 7 and not 3 if they want to knock off Cincinnati. The X factor for the Bengals will be sustaining drives. They have to do a better job on third downs, more in particular versus the Browns. They struggled in that aspect in the first meeting. They have to be able to stay on the field. They have way too many weapons offensively for this to happen. Now here are some coaching points for both teams in this ball game. For the Browns, formation. A lot of what they do is based off formations and motions, and if they can get creative with their formations like they've done all season long, they can create problems for that Bengals defense. And you have to send pressure away from AJ Green and bracket him on the opposite side. I think that's how they can confuse Andy Dalton and force an errant pass, or get him to hold that football a little bit too long to where they can put him on the ground, or even force a turnover. And they have to make plays in space defensively. The Bengals do a great job of attacking the flats, and they force you to make plays one-on-one in space. And if they can't do that, they can't win this game. But if they can, they have a great chance of going on the road and knocking off Cincinnati. And for the Bengals in this game, winning the individual battles in the secondary will be key, whether that's winning above the rim versus Josh Gordon or winning the big boy battle over the middle of the field with Cameron and also Greg Little. They're going to have to win those one-on-one matchups in order to knock off the Browns. In the third down offense, we talked about this before, they have to be able to stay on the field with long sustained drives. And in the running game, the attempts are more important than the yards. You want to run enough to be able to create that play action passing game for Andy Dalton to give him that much more time back there in the pocket so he can then take those shots deep down the field. I like the Bengals in this ball game. I like what I saw last week defensively. They actually shut out the Baltimore Ravens in the second half, well, the third and fourth quarter. I think they'll do a great job versus this Browns offensive attack. Now on offense, I think you'll see a much more consistent effort from Andy Dalton this week. He'll utilize his legs more to create those opportunities. So I like the Bengals to get their revenge in the second stanza of the Battle of Ohio. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Bengal fan forums and Brown fan forums for always showing football game plan support.